Hi, I'm Mike Gambardella, and welcome into the newest episode of Pat's Latest. The Patriots suddenly reveal what they could actually be up to in completing Mike Vrabel's dream scenario for his locker room. There's an addition on the offensive line. There could be a solution at a top position of need for the Patriots. And also, there could be one underlying one that we're not seeing correctly, and one that we could be surprised that the Patriots don't end up addressing overall. Before we get into everything, make sure you go and subscribe for our channel. Get into the comments and let us know how you'd like to see the Patriots build out the rest of their roster before the NFL draft. And be sure to go ahead and check out our other episodes once you finish today's. We get started in looking at ego versus culture and what Mike Vrabel and Elliott Wolf are really trying to build here as they construct a 90-man roster once the NFL draft is done, and some insight into why the Patriots were actually never in on DK Metcalf or Devontae Adams, two of probably the best wide receivers that were available on the market through either free agency or trade here, but two guys that absolutely who could have been a game changer for Drake May. That it's now pretty much been revealed that Mike Vrabel was not interested in either of these guys, that he wants a specific type of player that is going to come in and buy into the system that he is creating and instilling. The Patriots were reportedly wary of the negative impact the demanding veteran wideout could have had on Drake May. Again, this is a young quarterback. He has acquitted himself well. He is saying all the right things through the media and to his teammates at this point, but putting in what could be a quote unquote prima donna or a guy that is a little bit more outspoken could have a negative effect, on the development of Drake May. Vrabel has prioritized culture fits, the demanding, no nonsense effort. That is what he wants first and foremost. That is evident in a lot of the free agent signings that have happened thus far for the Patriots. And he and Elliott Wolf are going to be very mindful of who they are bringing into the huddle for Drake May. They want guys who are absolutely bought in. And while there could be Pro Bowl level players out there, if a guy is more interested in perhaps his targets or his paycheck, that's not going to fit the scheme that Mike Vrabel is building right now. Long term, yes, that is absolutely the right solution for both Drake May and the New England Patriots. But in the short term, that does mean the goal of the playoffs in year one under Vrabel could be difficult. Something that will help the goal of the playoffs here is the replacement of David Andrews. And it didn't take long after the Vikings cut Garrett Bradbury, the center and former first round pick. He has signed a 2-year deal with the New England Patriots, and one that could be worth up to $12 million, so $6 million per year for the new starting center for the Patriots. And as we just said, a former first rounder who has started all 88 games for the Minnesota Vikings. So a perfect replacement for David Andrews. Again, not one that is going to be a all pro every year, but someone who comes in and immediately you have no questions about that starting spot. He's a little bit smaller in size, kind of similar in the style of play as David Andrews. He is a great run blocker and a shotgun snapper, something that Drake May will definitely appreciate and Josh McDaniels will utilize. But again, as a smaller guy, he could actually be pushed around by some of the bigger offensive linemen. So the improved play and kicking back inside of Michael Onwenu becomes very important, as does who they choose to pair on the left side at left guard for Bradbury as well. Again, not the sexiest signing, but one that is very important and to get in place right away to have that relationship built with your young signal caller and the center and focal point of that offensive line, obviously outside of the left tackle, which still remains very much a question for everything else going on with the New England Patriots. One thing that could be a solution is the wide receiver spot, and we've talked a lot about whether it's those top flight options. They threw almost $30 million a year at Chris Godwin and couldn't get him out of Tampa Bay, but the Patriots could have a potential solution to who is that number one boundary option. They have a lot of guys that are going to work well as that secondary receiver or that slot receiver, but now some of the top draft pundits in the NFL are expecting Travis Hunter to slide to number 4 for the New England Patriots. And again, could be utilized as that third cornerback behind Carlton Davis and obviously Christian Gonzalez, but could be that top flight X wide receiver on the outside that would allow Drake May to stretch the field a little bit more. Now, not only Daniel Jeremiah of NFL.com, but now Mel Kiper is putting Travis Hunter, the Heisman Trophy winner, at number 4 to the Patriots. It's picking up steam, and we've talked about earlier in Pat's latest, about a month ago, that should quarterbacks continue to work their way up the draft board, that will push players like Travis Hunter, like Abdul Carter down the draft board, and suddenly the Patriots are getting a top flight pick at number 4 in spite of being a little bit further down. If Cam Ward does go number 1 to Tennessee, and if either the New York Giants or Cleveland Browns decide Shedeur Sanders is the right fit, or if another QB needy team decides to come up to that spot and take Shedeur, then absolutely one of those two players will fall for the Patriots. And while, again, Travis Hunter is listed as that cornerback, he could be that number 1 wide receiver option for Drake May because of the system that Josh McDaniels runs. There's a lot of flexibility within that. There's going to be a lot of looks, a lot of schemes, a lot of 2 tight ends. There could be a 2 running back set as well. So whether it's Pop Douglas or Kendrick Bourne or somebody else out there, there will be opportunities to get Drake May and Travis Hunter onto the field in those scenarios where suddenly it opens up a lot more for the both of them and gives Travis Hunter an opportunity to make an impact on both sides of the ball, which is what he is absolutely looking for in year 1 in the NFL. With a lot of the roster decisions becoming clear of what the Patriots are going after, there still remains those 3 spots very much unsettled. We know that it's left tackle, we know that it's left guard, and we know that it is essentially wide receiver 1. If Travis Hunter is that solution, that could be a way to go. But there is becoming more and more of a path where one of those could potentially be seen as set by the Patriots, even though everyone on the outside looking in sees it as a problem area. Let's start at left guard, where Layden Robinson actually played pretty well as a first-year player, and C.D. Sau, again, fought injuries a lot last year. You could see a platoon by the 2 of them. Play it out through camp. Don't say we have to, put either free agent dollars, put an extra person in there that you're not sold as a culture fit, or have to use draft capital on that. Let it play out, and then potentially look to backfill once the other teams in the NFL start to cut down their rosters from 90 to 53. That could be something that we see play out for the Patriots, as opposed to saying there are 3 spots, there could just be 2 that they need to address. There is also a scenario where wide receiver could fall in that realm, with Kendrick Bourne and Mac Hollins now out there on the boundary, and Keyshawn Boutte, Jalen Polk, and Javon Baker occupying the opposite side of the field. We know Pop Douglas will be that slot receiver. Now, some people could actually fill in there as well. If Josh McDaniels decides that Pop Douglas is going to be that Danny Amendola, Julian Edelman, Wes Welker type, that sets 1 wide receiver spot immediately. Now you have 5 other guys competing for 1 or 2 spots. It's not the big name. It's not the 1,000-yard receiver that doesn't exist in how the Patriots are currently constructed. But there is a scenario where we should be preparing for the Patriots not to have that. And it might not be a Stefon Diggs or a Keenan Allen, somebody that we're used to as a big-time touchdown scorer in the NFL, but perhaps more of utilizing Josh McDaniels' scheme, utilizing the skill of Drake May, utilizing the tight ends in this offense to open up other things for the wide receivers. It's not what we might think that the Patriots will be after, but it's a scenario we have to be prepared for, because it could make more sense when scheme and culture fits are more important. One that's a little bit further down the line is the left tackle spot. Vidarian Lowe has started there last year and sparingly in 2023 as well. And if they continue to see production and growth from him in the offseason, that could be a person that starts the year while they give Caden Wallace, a third round pick from Penn State last year, an opportunity to grow underneath Doug Marrone. Again, it's set up in a scenario where that could happen, especially if Morgan Moses absolutely locks down the right side, where Caden Wallace could be that backup at the right tackle. He could slide to left and quickly get an opportunity at that spot. Again, not where you'd prefer to see this. You'd rather see them go out and sign someone like Cam Robinson. But again, as culture becomes key, especially for Mike Vrabel, and where contracts have to line up and you have to be comfortable with how they're structured and how long they're going to be attached to your team, Elliott Wolf's going to have to make some hard decisions about where this roster is constructed and where they're first putting free agent dollars, and then seeing how the draft pans out. If Will Campbell's going to be a selection at 4, if they're going to trade back, if they're more enamored with Mezuz Membu once they get through the pro days, things could start to shift around. But do not be surprised if one of these areas of need from the Patriots actually get a box check next to it because of the production and the growth from those internal options. That'll do it for us on this episode of Past Latest. We'll continue to monitor everything going on in the free agent world and who that next signing for the Patriots will be while getting ready for everything coming down the pike from the NFL draft. Again, make sure to go down and subscribe to our channel. Give us a like if you like what you hear. Get in the comments and let us know who the Patriots got to be after, and go back and check out our old episodes. Fight on, Foxborough.